about I don't date a short man. You got little D energy. I mean, y'all got
you can say it here, little energy.
You can say it here. The women are praised for saying it, but when I actually speak to women who volunteer to call into my show, ask me my advice or my opinion, then all of a sudden I'm being harsh.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So I just saw something that I thought was really cool, man. T.I. just released what he calls a tribute to Kevin Samuels. Now, the tribute is actually a never before seen, never before released podcast of him having a conversation with Kevin Samuels. During the podcast, they talk about a lot of things that a lot of people who haven't watched the long form content and just judge Kevin Samuels and his message based off the short clips, what they usually miss, right? And I would encourage you guys to go watch it. But in this video, I'm going to be reacting to a part of their convo that stood out to me the most. Let's get into it, man. No more wasting time. Let's go.
Now, you said how much ladies hate when the roles are reversed.
Yes.
Facts.
Now, I want you to speak on that, but I want you to do it in the presence of my dear friend, respected, longtime colleague and constituent, Single Dina. Please come in.
Single Dina, everybody.
Single Dina, please come on. Welcome to Expeditiously. Welcome back to Expeditiously.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now,
so happy to be here.
Right on. We're so happy to have you. Now, you've had quite the time to research Mr. Kevin Samuels.
I have. It's been very interesting.
Because listen, so I put Single Dina up on your show, you know, and I told her, I say, hey, find him. We need to sit down.
Okay.
And ever since then, she's been sending me excerpts.
Every night, I just get in my bed and I watch these
and
videos.
You watch this man in your bed alone.
Just tearing into women, just
and
left and right.
But you're coming back. Are you a pain freak? Because if it was painful, you would have no reason to return.
It's interesting. It's a perspective that we don't hear often, and I feel like it's almost like, you know how you hear a lot about like women empowerment? It's like a new male men empowerment kind of thing. He's speaking up for the men that don't necessarily get to say these things.
But is it the honesty? Is it that you relate to it? Is it that you agree with it? Is it that you so much disagree with it? And you
real quick, guys, notice how the woman there is like, it's this new perspective, male empowerment, a man speaking up for other men. It's just so interesting. Like she's never heard of something like that before. Men speaking up and empowering other men is just so unheard of to women today, to modern women, that it's like a phenomena to them. It's like, wow, men need to be empowered too. Men have rights too. Like men could be facing injustice as well. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Let's get back into it.
And you hate it? Like, what is it that keeps you coming back for more?
I think it's a mixture of all of it. I would say that I feel like we could be a little bit more, I've said this to you before, a little bit more, less harsh with our words.
Who,
and
he
our
could
correct.
or
yes.
you could?
No, he could.
He could, but what would that accomplish if
Here
Well, that's
we
why
go.
people like it, because he gets down and dirty real fast.
Well, it's not down.
Why you calling it down and dirty?
See, the words have been used.
Why can't it be up and honest?
Well,
you know
direct,
what I'm saying? Why can't it be up and honest?
Well, here's the thing. Tear into women, harsh. What would we call ain't nothing going on but the rent? You got to have a JOB if you want to be with me.
When most men lack the exposure to certain opportunities that would yield them the benefits to
like,
reach
I don't want no scrubs,
such a
right?
standard.
I don't want. The thing is, and put a ring on it. Women have had the freedom to speak their minds directly, honestly, in film, in print, in media, for especially black women, unopposed for the better part of 50 years.
I was going to say, not that long, because they were suppressed for a little bit.
Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right.
And this is what I always say.
The correcting of men all the time.
No, I
She
was
can
saying
help herself.
because women for so long did not
Sign
have a
language.
voice.
Sign
Black
language.
women have never been oppressed
Shame,
by black
insults, guilt,
men.
and
I said
the need
black
to be
women.
right.
Black women have never had that problem with their men.
Women of color.
I mean, I'm specifically talking about black women in this case, but
Something really interesting that I want to point out real quick, because I've seen a lot of these different type of interviews. I've been watching a lot of them recently of KS on other people's podcasts. The way he carries himself on other people's platforms is not the way he handles his own platform. What does that mean? Well, it means that when he's on other platforms that are not his own, he respects the host, right? If you watch this thing in its entirety, and even other platforms, like when he was on Joe Budden, you don't see him interrupting like other people do on his platform. Something to point out, something to remember. Because a lot of people say things like, man, he was rude to his guests. Well, maybe his guests didn't respect the platform, which, you know, we saw it with our own eyes. Yeah, man, just a food for thought. Let's get back into it.
And that's what, here's the thing. When women say what they want to say about I don't date a short man, you got little D energy. I mean, y'all got
you can say it here, little energy.
I mean, y'all got. I mean, you got, the women are praised for saying it, but when I actually speak to women who volunteer to call into my show to ask me my advice or my opinion, then all of a sudden I'm being harsh.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
And you're a friend, and you know, just welcome to the show anytime.
Thanks, man.
We're gonna have a more longevitous discussion about us and how we can find ways to collaborate.
This has been fun.
A tradition of Expeditiously is the word of the week. Now, Dina has some shit that she wrote down here.
I think we used that other word.
This. I think the word of the week for this particular episode. Now, the word of the week is always a word that describes the guest or in some way describes the discussion. And the word of the week today is misandry.
Never heard of it.
Misandry.
New one.
Misandry is the hatred for men from women.
She's never heard of it.
You know. And I'm going to use it in a sentence. So everybody who hears it can go off and they can use it as though they have known it all their lives. But that's what we do here. Okay, here we are. Kevin and I are often labeled as misogynists when in fact we are headed toward an emphatic era of misandry.
Yeah, we damn sure didn't have that. I don't think most women realize they don't like men.
Yeah.
I didn't realize women hated men so much.
Yeah,
This is
because
crazy.
I mean, their experiences, they internalize their trauma,
or the father,
father, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of women are
daddy,
internalizing
uncle.
stories that they just heard.
That's not even theirs.
Not even theirs. That's what happens
That's
on my
real.
show.
Brainwashing. Really, really cool podcast, man. Shout out to T.I. for the tribute. And something that I thought was really interesting, man. The ending of that conversation was really fitting to the situation of how most women reacted to the passing of Kevin Samuels. Misandry is a word that a lot of women don't know. The chick on the actual podcast had never heard of that word before. It was new to her. But they know the word misogyny, right? They're quick to call men misogynist, but most of them don't know the word that would describe a woman who doesn't like men. And I think when we look at the reaction of most women after they saw a man pass away, a man who was unapologetic, we saw a lot of women reveal their misandry. Kevin Samuels said something really interesting there, man. He said, I don't think most women know that they hate men. And what I personally think he meant by that is when most women see a man who's unapologetically himself, unapologetically a man, there is some sort of disdain, you know, and dislike for a man who embraces his masculinity. And it's cloaked in, oh, you know, you are being sexist or misogynist, when really he's just being a man, right? And I agree with that statement. This society, the society we're living in right now, doesn't like men. There is no place, there's few places for a man to be truly a man, to truly be himself, right? Without being labeled a misogynist or without being canceled for your opinions. And this goes way beyond individual women who are brainwashed through the media to, not like a real man when they see a man, or a man who just embraces his masculinity, to think that that's wrong. This also goes into platforms, media outlets. They don't allow men to get on there and be men. You will be policed. You will be censored. Right? And guys, I know for a fact you've experienced this yourself, especially if you enjoy some of my content. You've maybe shared your views with like a group of female friends, and you see some of them maybe roll their eyes or, say, oh, I don't like the way that guy thinks. And they put you in a certain category, all because they see that you're unapologetically masculine, right? And you see a little bit of their misandry show. And the crazy thing is most women don't know what that word is to begin with. But a big shout out to T.I., a big shout out to, I think Cam Newton also has like a podcast that he hasn't released yet of him and Kevin Samuels. I don't know if he's gonna release it or not. But yeah, man, as always, go ahead and leave your opinions, your comments, your thoughts down below. Listen, I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.